In this video, I want to show you how to use a debt payment calculator. Now, if paying off your debt is a priority for you, then step one has to be to track it. So by using this calculator, we're going to go through a couple strategies that could help you reduce your debt by multiple years and your interest by hundreds and even thousands of dollars over the lifespan of your loan. Make sure to download the debt payment calculator. It's down in the description of this video. It's completely free. Download it so you can follow along. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so here's the debt payment calculator. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually save a copy for yourself because you won't be able to make any edits in this version. So go to File, make a copy, and you can click on this folder section here and make sure you click on My Drive, select, and then make a copy. It will make a copy in your Google Drive. You can also download this, make sure it's in Excel or this CSV version, or you can just simply email this file to yourself and make sure, again, it's in some sort of spreadsheet form. So now that that's out of the way, let's get right into the file. So you see that I already have some information listed here. This is just an example, okay? But the first steps of what you're going to want to do is get all your debt information, get all the data for it, and track it here. So the creditor type, feel free to enter whatever you want to name your loans. You can name it as simply as like I have here, car loan, student loan, credit card one, or you can say Visa, Amex, Toyota, whatever the thing is, right? However you're going to remember it, the better. Now, there's only 10 spots here. If you have more than 10, unfortunately, this file does not allow extra line items. The next section here, you're going to want to enter your current balance as of the day that you're entering all this information in. You're going to want to enter the interest rate of each of the loans for the line items and the minimum payments for each of the line items. Now, you'll see here that the current balance is totaling, and for this example, we have $40,000, and the minimum payment totals here to $380. Now, that's the top section and the tracking section, if you will, of this debt payment calculator. And tracking is literally the first step whenever you're trying to do anything in your personal finances. So it's the same with this. Once we get all the information on this sheet, now the fun begins. So let's go to the next section. We go down here to this section here. This monthly payment, this is going to be the amount of money that you're putting towards your debt currently, okay? So in a perfect world, you're putting more money toward your debt than your minimum payment. But just do whatever you're doing right now or what you've been doing or sort of an average of what you've been doing just to get an idea of where you stand. This initial snowball section is the difference between the monthly payment, so $480, minus the minimum payments that you owe towards your debt. So the difference here being $100. And this $100 is going to come in handy later on once we start talking about the strategy. So then we scroll down here to the strategy section, and big picture, this section is essentially taking all the information that we put up top. Okay, so we have our type of loan, we have the balance. And now, since we input more information, it's going to calculate the interest paid, how many months this debt's going to be paid off, and then the approximate date of when it will be paid off. And then down here, you'll see that the interest paid is being totaled. So right now it's $14,000, and we're going to become debt-free in February 2034. So now if we go back up to this strategy box here, there's going to be a few different things that I want to show you real quick, but there's going to be two strategies that I want to talk about at the end, and I would recommend either one of those to start with for you. The first strategy that I want to talk about is no snowball, okay? So what this is showing and why I wanted to put this on here is this is assuming that you're just making minimum payments towards your debt, and no matter how much you've been paying, it's just assuming right in this situation that you're going to be paying $380 only, and that's it. So let's see what happens down here. And yes, it breaks the spreadsheet, okay? See this NA and this little error message here. That means that the calculation is showing that this is going to take more than 30 years or the 360 months that we have set up in this file. So I just wanted to show you this, how important putting more money towards your minimum payments actually is, because paying just your minimum payments gets you nowhere. Currently, I'm recording this in September of 2024. So yeah, it's basically going to take you 30 years for $40,000 in debt, okay? So if you're actually serious about paying down your debt and you want to make a change in your life, we have to figure out how to amp up your payments that you have towards your debt. Okay, so that's why I wanted to show you this. Please do not use this strategy. It is not a strategy. The next thing I wanted to show you was I gave you an option here to just look at how this would be paid off based on the order that you entered it in your debt. So I found that a lot of times when if I'm entering something like this, usually the one that's top of mind or the most important one to me for whatever reason I put up here. So I wanted to put this ordered in table, and it's again just another way to look at the math down here. Every single different strategy will have some sort of different angle to it, or the interest will fluctuate, the debt-free dates will fluctuate. This isn't also really a strategy. I just wanted to put this in here as another way for you to show you how some of the math would work. Then we can go to this custom section. So if we scroll back up to this section that I did not talk about here, custom, this is set up so that the calculator will order your debts based on the values that you have in this custom. So in this case, it's lowest first. So say your student loan is like really just pissing you off. It's on top of your mind. It's really annoying. You just want to get rid of it. So like, all right, I just want to get rid of this first no matter what. And then we'll just go in order. Yeah, 2, 3. And you see everything changing down below, okay? The order's changing. So again, just another way to look at the math. So we go down here and the interest on this one was way higher, just an FYI. But again, it's just, we're just playing around with the math right now, okay? And then the same thing would apply if we did custom highest first. It would just take the complete opposite. So we scroll down here, check out the math. That looks pretty good. Okay, it's best one so far. Okay, so now the two that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about them sort of simultaneously. Okay, so there's the debt snowball method and there's the debt avalanche method. So first, let's go to the debt snowball method. And the strategy here is we're going to be ranking the order of our loans from smallest amount to largest amount, meaning we're going to prioritize paying off the smallest loan first and then working our way down to the largest loan. So how this works strategically is once this figures out for you which loan is the smallest loan, the next smallest, and the next smallest. Obviously, this is how I set it up. That was not intentional. So we look down the calculator. This is the order that you're going to be paying. So for your student loan and your credit card, since they are not the smallest at the moment, we are just going to make minimum payments towards those loans. That way we are not penalized for paying any less, and we still kind of keep the debt moving. But the power behind this one is not only are we going to be paying the $120 minimum payment for the car loan, but we're also going to be adding this $100 snowball on top of it. So instead of just paying the minimum $120, the $100 is going directly to the car loan. Now we can see here, again, some of the math. So we have $14,000 of interest. The debt-free date is February 2034. The benefit to the snowball method is it's not going to be the best in terms of saving money or saving interest. It's not going to be the most cost-efficient one for you, but what it does is it's going to give you a nice psychological boost because you're putting the smallest loan first. So you're going to see pretty quickly that you can do it and you can pay down the loan and you're going to get a faster win than if you were to just put your largest loan out first and you're trying to like pay that down for years. No, you put your smallest ones out first. You get them out of the way. In this case, if we look at it, so the smallest loan is $5,000. The month to pay it off is 26 months, okay? So just about 2 years. But again, I'm gonna show you how that's gonna change in a second because $480 a month, we're not being that aggressive yet. So these numbers are gonna look awesome in a second. So the next strategy is the debt avalanche method. Now with this one, we're going to prioritize our loans based on highest interest rate first, all the way down to the lowest. Now, the same sort of idea applies where once this calculates the order for you, so in this case, the credit card loan has the highest interest rate and then the car loan and then the student loan. So what we would do in this example is our student loan and our car loan, we would be paying the minimum payment, so the $95 and the $120 towards those, and then the $165 minimum payment for the credit card plus the $100 is going to go to the credit card, okay? So all the extra money goes to the largest interest rate. And the benefit to this one is it will be the most cost-efficient one for you, even if slightly. So we can see here just over $13,000 in interest in December 2033. So if we go back to the snowball method, so remember these totals, right? 13K in December 2033. The snowball was 14K February 2034, so about $800 more of interest, and it'll take about 3 months longer to pay this off. So again, that's why I recommend both of these, okay? Because $800 over a 10-year time frame isn't really that big of a deal, and then 3 extra months at the end of it isn't that big of a deal. But you see what happens here. So with the snowball, the first one's paying off in 26 months, and in avalanche, the first one gets paid off in 56 months. So you have to wait basically 5 years in this example to pay off your first loan, whereas in the snowball method, you wait about 2 years and the first one's paid off, okay? So it's a little better on your psychology and your mental, and debt is more than money, okay? So I wanted to show you this example because I think it's just really important. Now, I mentioned that we could do a little better paying these off, right? Now let's show you the magic of just a little extra money can do to paying down your debt. So we were originally paying $480 a month, but let's say, crazy thought, we could just put an extra $100 towards paying down our debt. So let's put $580 and look at the totals below. So look at the interest, so 14K, and then the debt-free date, February 2034, and we're gonna see what happens with an extra $100. Boom, so we just lost $4,000 of interest. We gained 3 years of our life back being debt-free, And that is significant, okay? $4,000 in 3 years, just by an extra $100 a month. That's why it's so important to make sure that if you're serious about paying down your debt, that you're also tracking your entire finances and you're creating a budget. Because if you see this and you need to find an extra $100 to save $4,000 in 3 years, you're probably going to want to do that. Let's do the same exercise for the avalanche method. So I'm going to put this back to 480 and I'm going to go to the avalanche method, and then I'm going to go back to 580 just so we can see the change. So the avalanche method was $13,200 and December 2033. Let's see what happens. Boom, similar idea, about $4,000 of interest, and this one was about 2 years becoming debt free. So again, significant differences in money and in time for $100 extra a month. If we could do this example all the way up the ladder, right? So we could just do, what would $1,000 a month do, right? Cuts the interest in half again, and cuts our time by 3 years again. People talk about interest when they're building their wealth, okay? But the same can be said when you're paying down your debt. The faster that you pay it off, the interest goes like that instead of like that. It's a big difference when you're getting rid of it like that. And actually I can show you down here. And yeah, so let me just put this back to 480 and I can just show you this little graph down here. So the red, it represents the interest, okay? So it's just showing you like how your interest is going along this line. There's nothing really to do with this. It's just a visual in case you like visuals and you like to learn with visuals. So now there's one more tab that I want to go through with you, and it's down here. It's called payment schedule. And this could help you with your payments and sort of see how every month is going, because this other page on the calculator, it's more of a summary, but this payment schedule is more granular, and it's going to show you month by month all your activity and how everything happens. Okay, so let's go through it. So this section up here is essentially just a summary of everything that we saw on the last page. And this strategy up here will change depending on what you have in here. So if we go here and we go to the snowball method, right, this changes to the snowball method. And then all of this data changes as well. Let's scroll down here and you'll start to see where all the monthly action is happening. So what this is doing is showing you how much money is going towards each one of the loans every single month. Okay, so we talked about with the debt snowball method, the minimum payments for these are being made, and then we are adding the extra $100 to the car loan. So the car loan in this example was the smallest loan. So I'll just go back to this page so we can see it. Right, we're on the debt snowball, so we're looking at the smallest loan. So the payment schedule tab, right, we're making these minimum payments, we're making this minimum payment, but then the $100 is going towards the car loan because it's the smallest loan. And you could start to see all the months here, and then you could also see when the changeover happens, when we pay off the car loan, and then we go right into the next smallest loan, and this builds because all the extra money is now going to this one, which is the credit card, okay? And you're still making your minimum payments on your student loans, but now the credit card, we're attacking that because that's the next smallest loan in line. A pretty cool feature on this page is this additional section. So let's say at the end of this year, you get a bonus at work. Okay, so let's say you have a $2,000 bonus at work. You put it in this additional section here and you hit enter, and it just recalculates everything. So the extra $2,000 goes into the snowball, which in this example, we want all the money, all the extra money pointed towards the smallest loan, which is the car loan, okay? And you can see what that did here. It obviously sped up this one being paid off sooner, and it's gonna just obviously speed up all of them being paid off sooner. And then we go down here with only one debt left, and we're putting the $480 that we're putting towards our debt towards just the last one until it's paid off. So hopefully this just kind of helps you figure out, okay, I need to track my debt because I don't really know my numbers and I don't know the math behind what I'm actually doing. And that's okay if you haven't done this before, of course, but this spreadsheet is going to tell you everything that you need to know and then some, and it's going to be really helpful. So definitely play around with the monthly payment amounts, definitely play around with the strategies, okay? The snowball or the avalanche are preferred. And then if you combine this with your budget, you can really turn this into a game and see how much I can crank this up and how much money I can put towards my debt. Because at the end of the day, the whole point is to pay as little interest as possible and to become debt-free as soon as possible. All right, guys, so that was the file. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you download the Personal Finance Level Up Kit, which is down in the description. It has this debt payment calculator. It also has a budget template, emergency fund calculator, and a net worth tracker. All of them are free. You just have to download them. So go check those out. I will see you in the next one.